I do marketing for a living and I feed people and gather people as a passion. The sense of community, gathering, belonging, togetherness, those are massive drivers for consumers. I'm the organizer of all the things that I do professionally, but also socially. So I'm like the friend that makes all the dinner reservations. I'm the friend that remembers everyone's birthday, the one that organizes the birthday party. Us hosts and organizers, we all need a moment of appreciation because so much of like the gathering and like the community building is like off of the invisible labor that we put in. I try to live my life that like if I were to die tomorrow, I'd die happy.
There's only one thing on your to-do list. What are you waiting for? Hit subscribe.
The Tuna Show, the Tuna Show, the Tuna Show, the Tuna Show.
How do you typically answer the question, what do you do?
I do marketing for a living and I feed people and gather people as a passion. That really sums it up because everything I do outside of my day job has a lot of overlap with my extracurriculars. It is about gathering and feeding. The events company I'm a partner of focus 70% on food and beverage and hospitality and entertainment. So everything we do surrounds the table. So ultimately, whatever my
That's so cool.
endeavors are about bringing people together, typically over food. And then marketing, as you know, professionally too, it's about really the science of like understanding people and how they think and, what drives them.
Yeah.
And I think the sense of community, gathering, belonging, togetherness, those are massive drivers for consumers. So I'm always taking that approach professionally with everything I do. That's what I specialize in. How does the culinary industry bring people inspiration to drive demand to the shelves to buy the things? I'm like a multi-hyphenate. Like I have a day job, which is a very full-on corporate marketing. I do global marketing for a Hong Kong brand. So I'm always working because of the nature of it being global. There's a lot of time zone juggling. So I often do work with the US, UK, and then through APAC. My office hours are technically like 8:30 to 6:30. I have calls sometimes at 3 a.m., sometimes 11 p.m., a sprinkling of like 9 p.m.s or whatnot. I also own an events company in Shanghai, which I operate more as like a director of the business versus like the day-to-day operator. I work with TEDx, which I just like ran from that meeting to get home on time for this, but I work with TEDx in Hong Kong to organize TED Talks. Then I'm really involved with like the American Chamber of Commerce here in Hong Kong. I lead one of the chairs of their Women of Influence committees, which is the largest committee in the
Cool.
chamber. So basically working with amazing women from all different industries across the chamber to run programming for women in business. It's called Women of Influence, so it's more like industry agnostic. But yeah, and then I operate a private dining concept in Hong Kong called Savor Cinema, which I have been also doing like 7-day work weeks the past and a half on that. We're prepping at night, so that's how I can juggle it amongst my day job because I'm at the office and then I go to the kitchen and prep all night till like 2 or 3 in the morning. And then we run service the next night. Doors open at like 7 or 8 p.m. and then we seat 22 people a night. We run that 3 nights a week. And that's something that I do. I have a business partner for that, like a creative partner. We operate that, as and when we have capacity amongst our jobs. Basically, it's kind of like whenever I think I can try to like spare some hours of the day. Doesn't leave a lot of time for sleep, but
Yeah.
I have a really like packed social calendar of like things, and I'm the organizer of all the things that I do professionally, but also socially. So I'm like the friend that makes all the dinner reservations. I'm the friend that remembers everyone's birthday, the one that organizes the birthday party. I host like a 60-person Thanksgiving every year, the bird and the fixins and all that stuff. So the to-do list changes every day and it's always kind of like chaotic depending on what of the many things I just listed is priority. So it's a big juggling act really of time and urgency.
Well, we sound very similar. I feel like I've never heard that anybody sounds so much like me, honestly, especially when it comes to like, yeah, like no matter how crazy the rest of my life is, I'm making a full-blown Thanksgiving dinner and everybody come over. Yeah, I'm happy to meet my crazy soulmate.
Yes, us hosts and organizers. This has been my theme of 2025 is like trying to find other people that are doing this because we all need a moment of appreciation because so much of the gathering and the community building is like off of the invisible labor that we put in. And when it's not reciprocated or appreciated or taken for granted, we're like, hey, come on, guys. Like we're all busy. Like this is when people are like, oh, I'm so busy. It's like, yeah, me too.
Do you want to
Like
see my
I'm
calendar?
like, Are you saying you're busier than me?
Is this the pace and the amount of things you want to juggle for the foreseeable future? Or do you feel like you're trying to get to some point where then you are more focused on a couple of things or that you're trying to offload anything?
I think I'm definitely looking to prioritize a few things this year. I definitely am operating at a time deficit that I don't normally, partly because I'm so busy, but then equally have this craving for more. I'm an extrovert, so like I want to gather, I want to like be around people, I want to do social things, but like I have to juggle the work stuff. I'm very work hard, play hard, and I've always been that way. Like I had 5 jobs in college. I worked in my careers in advertising, and I always was working like crazy hours and was like the only producer retained on 3 accounts. Now that I own my own agency, I'm like that agency was making like 800% off of my billable hours back then. I was extremely underpaid 23-year-old in New York City working on 3 of the biggest accounts of this company. And when I look back, I'm like, I need to what I'm not sure about that. I was like, wow, I would have made more if I worked at McDonald's. If we were looking at the hours,
Oh my
you
gosh, that's
know?
so sad.
When I first started in New York, the salary's so small. I was like, okay, maybe I'll work at Starbucks from like 6 to 9 a.m. every morning before I go to my advertising job. And then maybe after work, I'll pick up some shifts and be, because like you're rubbing pennies together in Manhattan. It was definitely that paycheck to paycheck life back then. Very different now. But to your question about can see myself continuing at this pace, I think looking until 2026, I'll probably edit down some things that I feel like the ROI is not really there, especially some of the volunteer things or things that I'm like overextending myself, you
And
know?
I'm guessing you don't just mean financial ROI, you mean
Yes,
energy.
yes. There's a couple of things that I've like side projects and stuff that people want to collaborate with me on. I'm always happy to try to help if I have the capacity for it, but I've been so time poor and so energy poor. I keep wanting to say yes, but I definitely shouldn't be. This year has definitely taught me to be like, you should have just said like, nah, like, or like just maybe, but in maybe next year or something. A number of things that I normally map out for my year, like timings were accelerated or scopes changed. I always like to map everything out and have a plan. I live in like Gantt charts and like Excel spreadsheets. I think in Excel. I always love asking people that. What do you think in? Do you think in PowerPoint? You think in Word? Like, you're thinking in Paint? We got Picasso over here. But yeah, I'm always like I can tell when someone else thinks in Excel 'cause I'm like, yes. We get those systems, we're thinking about 1 to 10, A to Z. How did you start doing this podcast and like
So
wanting to do all the things?
like this is my brain. Just anytime I meet somebody interesting or with a job that I'm like, what? that I'm always just after I meet them, turn to my husband and I'm like, what do you think they actually do in a day? Like what is happening at 2:15 or like and how is the tiny details that their life breaks down into adding up to this whole day, this whole life, this whole career, this whole person. And I'm very interested in people with really weird and
Mhm.
different jobs. And I'm certainly interested in like people who are drastically more successful than me and I'm like how is your 15 minutes at 2:15 so different than mine that it is equaling like this different level of success. What are the details that that's breaking down to? So yes, it's been, I don't know, 5 years of me every time I meet anybody turning to my husband and being like, what do they do in a day? And then finally just being like, I think this idea is not leaving me alone. If I'm really fascinated by this, I'm gonna guess some other people are too. And I had a podcast before when I first started traveling, and I really love the socially appropriate permission to interrogate someone because that is definitely my like default mode. But yeah, when you have a microphone, people are a lot more
Yeah.
accepting of being interrogated. Do you have a to-do list
Okay.
ready for?
Yes. So basically my to-do list is always in my calendar in terms of like every up to like the 15-minute increments. Like even if it's like a 5-minute call, I put it in the calendar. So my to-do list is always like blocked by meetings or activities, but then also like things I need to get done. So it's like in order to do all the things I do, I have to be extremely scheduled. And that's one of the main things that I like call out to people when meeting them. I'm like, yeah, my calendar looks like Tetris. We're just
Uh,
gonna have to see how that goes. Wait, I'm just gonna send this to you. Just a random Saturday, not even a work day.
well, I'd love to like go through the to-do list that you did
Yeah.
send me because it's all words
You're
and
like,
I'm like, I have no idea what this could be other than home. I think I know what that means.
Yeah. So it was like the first one was reformer. So that was like Pilates. Like ignore my obviously somebody's
Oh,
my
nice.
someone at work's on annual leave. But it's like I have Pilates, then I had a facial, then I had a laser appointment, then I was seeing my friend Natasha for coffee, then I needed to go home, and then I was seeing my friend Leo for dinner. Then after dinner with Leo, which is like a cut off there, I think I might have met up with friends for drinks or something. So this is like a Saturday. This is just my social light day. It's light day. And then if we're looking at like, let me see another one. There will be other times. Oh, my Monday nights, like even just tonight, everything ran over today. Even just today from like 6 p.m. on a Monday. I have every Monday night, I put in my calendar, do not make plans. But alas, I make plans all the time on Monday nights. And I had
So why do you put that there? And why on a
Oh, because
Monday?
it's like after the weekend, I should like, I keep always saying to myself, like after Saturday and Sunday, I need to like be at home and like do like laundry and stuff. I feel like my life is a constant state of doing laundry. I honestly do laundry like every single day of various things. Like even tonight, it was like I wasn't supposed to necessarily have all of these meetings overlapping because like my 6 o'clock meeting ended up running over to like 6:45 or like almost 7. And then I was running late to the other meeting. And that was supposed to end by like 7:30 and then it only ended at like 8:15. So then I like ran back home for this call, which I did admittedly obviously overbook myself, but like knowing that that meeting wasn't going to actually be like 2 hours or God, 2.5 hours that they put in the calendar for that every week. That's kind of, I guess, a reference point. I'll show you my like September, the month of September. So I color code. Obviously, you can see like how I have different like color codes for like personal and whatever. So since I color code, when you look at the month, when you look at my month, you can see every day, look at the different like all the different colors on the days. It can tell you kind of what's happening.
Wow.
So like if you look at like the 9th, the 16th, 22nd, well, it should be popping off. Like, geez, the second, like those just a lot of things happening, various things.
And a lot of things from different
Yes, yeah, a lot.
categories. Yeah.
Some stuff work, some stuff personal.
Do you have any practices like in your day or your week that are more about balance and grounding that are able to support you in doing all of these things?
I guess I like exercise. That's why I do schedule like going to like Pilates or and then every Sunday, almost every Sunday, like either 10 or 11 a.m. I do the same like hit workout class with a friend and then we get coffee after and like debrief on our weeks because it's like a Sunday morning thing and like Sunday mornings are usually pretty quiet. Little things like that I try to like build in a ritual for in a way, but I would say that my because for work I have to travel a lot and then I also just travel a lot personally as well. So sometimes routines are definitely hard to like that kind of same routine with like going with the same friend to work out is like sometimes hard to maintain. But yeah, I would say working out like making sure I make time to do that is definitely part of it. If I'm honest, like watching random series, like I have all the subscriptions. Like it's like I
Yeah.
got HBO, I got Prime, I got Apple TV, I have Netflix. But like watching all the shows and I like keep up with that. It's often what I do like before bed or something, like as like a wind down to my day. Like I'll watch like some random show or whatnot.
Do you feel like the way you go about your to-do list and schedule and prioritizing is different at all, like during your workday versus in all of your other stuff, the way you think about things or feel things or
Yeah,
schedule
I mean, I think
things?
during my work day, I do work in a very big corporate hierarchical organization. So during my workday, I'm always having to think about the other stakeholders that I have to interact with and schedule around, thinking about the kind of motivations and incentives for those stakeholders as well to like get things done and make progress. My number one I'm a very like output driven person. I like tangible outcomes. I'm a producer, project manager by trade, and so it's like let's make it happen. So my work days are always driven by that. Like what motivates me to make things happen is like okay, let's get an outcome. So a lot of meetings have to happen. A majority of my day is spent making proposals, typically in the format of decks and PowerPoints. And then the way that I still approach everything I do systematically, no matter personal or professional. But with a lot of my other projects, since it's kind of like the main stakeholder is myself and maybe like people that I choose to include in those experiences, it's a little bit different. And it's almost like even though my plate is like piled up beyond, it still feels like liberating. though, to have more autonomy with some of those things. And everything I do, I still work with collaborators, but they're people I chose to work with, or also who chose me to work with, which is a little bit different than like an HR department decision, you know. But
Yeah.
I would say, yeah, like, especially when I'm working on my other side projects and even social things, I'm like thinking about solutions. So how can I like solve something creatively? How can I meet whatever the need is of the chosen demographic or person or group I'm hanging out with or whatever, versus at work, it's like outcomes, outcomes, outcomes. Like let's like just get it done. And sometimes I hate that we have to sometimes choose to be this way, but like it's like done is better than good sometimes.
Yeah.
I honestly, like,
Absolutely.
before moving to Asia, that wasn't a concept I really like held on to. Partly because like I worked in New York for several years, and especially like honestly, a lot of people from the East Coast, I think you can relate to like get shit done mindset, you know? And so
Yeah.
and like do it when we want to and raised that way. And so to me, like I'm like in meetings and you're just trying to always get consensus building, and I'm like, okay, that sounds like that will get it done. And like I will stop trying to offer improvements. I will stop making suggestions. I've had colleagues message me on the desk being like, stop asking questions. We want this meeting to be over. And I'm like, I'm asking questions that would help us all do our jobs better. But okay, sure. They're like, yeah, I want to leave. I was like,
Aw.
okay. They're like, the meeting needs to be done. I'm like, okay, sure. But like how I approach other things is definitely like with like, let's try to make the best solution that's going to make the best experience. And I'm really driven by like experience and like, yeah, and all the other things like socially and with the other, endeavors I take on.
Is what your day looks like now what you thought it would look like 10, 8, 5 years ago?
No, but it would be just as busy, but filled with different things. I would say maybe like 10 years ago, I was definitely on a different track that was prescribed by society. So I'm not married. I'm like a proud spinster. Not married, like super single. If any man listens to this and is like, that busy ass lady sounds interesting, holler. But 10 years ago, I definitely also thought I thought I would have kids by now and things like that, right? So there's like what life in society, traditional whatever thoughts were there, but I still always planned to be busy or like to be doing the most I could and be making the most of my time and like being an active person in society. I've predominantly been this way ever since like college. Like worked all the time. I had many jobs, internships. I was like president of all these clubs. I was like same thing, honestly, same thing even in high school. And then even
Yeah.
in New York, like when I was working one main full-time job, I was still like always organizing like these like like lavish dinner parties and like hosting my friends and like organizing like experiences. Like I'd be the person like queuing up in Times Square trying to get those like Broadway show tickets for like six of my friends, doing all those types
Oh,
of
yeah.
things. And if it wasn't like having three concurrent jobs. At the same time, I was still doing a lot of that kind of stuff. So yeah, still just like appreciating life is how I see it. Like making the most of my time is me valuing it, definitely was be busy, but I would say like 5 years from now, I didn't think I would be still running this private kitchen or private like dining concept, because it started during COVID, as a very much a passion project, something to like just try to find joy and silver lining in the situation, because in Hong Kong was really like heavily restricted and dining was closed.
Mhm.
Yeah, then it just kept on progressing and more and more people found out about us, and now we've been written up in like SEMP and like Tatler and stuff, and it's still a passion project. It's not at a point where I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna quit my day job, but it gives me a lot of intrinsic value. And my business partner Allison and I are like, yeah, we're really well matched. We know how to complement each other very well and work together finding solutions. We like the amount of respect we have for each other, I think, has been a key to like making it grow so much. But like 5 years ago, I definitely wouldn't have been like, oh, we'll still be doing it a lot. I thought, oh, when COVID like is over, then like that chapter might also come to a close. But it's like, yeah, going strong. We had like 200 people this month. We have 140 people next month. So yeah, it's
So is it like
yeah,
private bookings, or how do
all
people
through
compare?
Instagram and like word of mouth.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, our handle's at Savor
That's
Cinema if you
amazing.
want to check it out. But yeah, it used to be just like friends and family, like, and very much like inner circles because it was something that we were just doing for fun. And then yeah, over time, more and more people have heard about it. Alice and I are both like really well networked in the city, so I think that's also part of it. But yeah, now we have like a 400-person waiting list, which is pretty cool. Like last night there was like 70% new people. One night we had like almost 100% new people. So it's very cool to see like people just discovering, like straight up organically discovering, because we've never run like Instagram, like we don't run like Instagram ads or anything because it's still very much on like the DL and kind of like you know someone that knows someone and kind of thing, because it is very private and it's just a private event. We only seat 22 people a night, so it's still very intimate. It's in an industrial space in Hong Kong, so we kind of make it our own in that way. Yeah,
So
it's
cool.
it's definitely probably something I would say, like if I were to, God forbid, get hit by a bus. This is I do operate under that though. I'm like, guys, if I get hit by a bus tomorrow, someone else needs to. This is why I over communicate. This is why you take meeting minutes. But I always like say this, like I think I try to live my life that like if I were to die tomorrow, I'd die happy, and I would think like if I was hit by a bus or something, hopefully it never happens, that would be something I'd be like one of the things I'd be most proud of like doing, because it was truly like in hopeless times that we made it happen, and like it still brings so much joy to us and other people.
Yeah, and yeah, especially it brings so much joy to all these other people and the 400 people on the waiting list. That's
Yeah.
amazing. If you could see the to-do list of any
Oh.
one person, who would it be? And it can be a person's name or a job title or however you want to answer it.
I don't know. My initial thought is like Michelle Obama. I don't know if anyone else has ever said that, but like I think Michelle Obama would be quite interesting to see, because I think, well, she's just incredible. Like I really deeply admire her. Who else actually? Like I would love to see a to-do list of like maybe like an Olympic gymnast or something, because I feel like I've met a few Olympians like from the Hong Kong Olympics team and stuff like that through my TED communities, and when I hear about their trainings and like all the stuff they do, but like the training to be an Olympian is one thing, but it's all that comes with it too. Like they have to do press tours, they have to do photo shoots, they have like they have to meet like nutritionists like every day, and like I mean because their body is their main currency, right? That's like their money maker, and they're competing at such a crazy high level. I mean, it must be. I would love to see an Olympian's sleep data, because that I aspire to. I like 2026. I like downloaded this. A friend of mine is working for this app called Sleep Easy, and he was like, Kwan, you need this. Like, what are you doing? Because he was like, how many hours of sleep do you get a night? And I was like, like 4 to 6. And he's like, that is not good. Yeah.
Gosh.
Not always, right? Like sometimes I'll like let myself sleep in and like do stuff. I'm definitely a night owl.
It's the first area where we're different. Because I'm like if I don't get 7.5, I'm like
Oh
a
no.
zombie. Yeah, sleep's pretty
I
extremely
need that.
mandatory for me.
Should be doing it. I know everything in my life would be better. Mostly, I think, would be better with more sleep. And I try, but then I just like don't achieve it because I just let other things
Yeah.
come into my purview. But yeah, this is my like new. That's one thing where I have to prioritize. I need to do that because like I'm not getting any younger, and sleep is like lack of and poor sleep quality is like the biggest factor in aging. I need more sleep for sure. Like Michelle Obama, like I guess, well, she has a team. I should just put in my calendar sleep, and then maybe I'd prioritize more.
I have sleep in my calendar.
Yes, I should probably do that.
Yeah, do it as soon as we get
Yeah,
off this call.
like I think also if I prior.
And make sure it's a
Yes,
recurring
daily.
event for
Yes,
every night.
yes, I love a recurrence. Because then I honestly, if I blocked on my calendar more, I would stop telling people I'm free for a call at 11. Like the amount of times I've said that statement this year, I'm free for a call at 11 p.m. is a lot, because I've been working on so many projects with the West Coast, and 7 p.m. is the only time where I can get somebody in Europe and the West Coast. And so I'm always the one compromising on Asia time. And it's funny, my colleagues are like, Amanda, you're just a workaholic. You just love working. I mean, I like to work, but not necessarily on this. In New York, I used to do insomnia baking, where I'd finish my workday and then I would just bake something to like wind down. I mean, I still do that. Like the other night,
Yeah.
after cooking for 22 people, I got home at 1 a.m. and I just decided to make soup. I'm just gonna make a soup. That's what I'm gonna do. And I
Yeah.
went to bed at 3 a.m. because I had to obviously make sure the soup was like cooking for long enough and like taste seasoning and all that stuff. And then I was like, oh, but making this soup for the week or something, like I just justify it myself. But I used to do insomnia baking, and it was so funny because my colleagues would just like wait at my desk to see what I had made, especially on Mondays, because at Sunday night I'd have like the Sunday scaries, so I would like bake cookies or something, and then Monday morning I would have the baked goods on my desk and then post-it notes by allergen, because it was New York, right? So I was like, contains nuts, contains gluten,
Yeah.
obviously is not sugar free. Like I would just leave it on my desk, and by the time I'd probably finish my first like 2 meetings in the morning, I'd come back to my desk and everything would be gone. But yeah, it was a good way to meet a lot of randos in the office. They'd be like, that lady that just like bakes, just like go to her desk on Mondays. It's great.
This is very relatable. Yeah, I've just moved
Yeah.
into this Balinese compound, and well, the amount of stuff I've baked in the last 3 days, but yeah, I'm trying to like be friendly with all the locals by just like giving them little like pumpkin bread loaves wrapped in banana leaves, and it's fall, even though it doesn't feel like
Yes.
it. I feel ya. I feel ya.
Yeah. Oh my God. Actually, like on the note of pumpkin, I feel like I've been seeing so many great pumpkin and sweet potato recipes. I just saw this amazing sweet potato cinnamon roll donut. Oh my God. I was like, I'm saved immediately. Need to make this. With what time? When? I don't know.
Nice.
But needs to happen.
Maybe you could just try committing to the sleep thing for like, I don't know, 3 weeks or something, where it's just like, okay, it's a 3 week experiment. We'll see how much it potentially takes away from my productivity or gives to my productivity, just as an experiment. You don't have to commit longer than 3 weeks, but I think 3 weeks is like a good trial time where you can actually see some
Yeah.
results. And then if you're like, okay, yeah, no, I'm not feeling any better and it's making me way less productive, fuck sleep. But then you can make an educated
This is
decision.
wise. Maybe I'll do that in like December. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like an end
that's a
of
good holiday time. There's less, well, never mind, you're in food, so
December.
who
We are
knows?
like closing the kitchen for the
Guess
month because
depends
like
on how
there's too much
crazy.
holidays and like all these other gatherings. So that is the time where I'll be like the slowest. At my
Okay.
day job,
Awesome.
yeah, we're more focused on like the next festive period. Christmas is not like a big priority. Maybe December, the month of rest. If I can sustain it, that would be my
Nice.
biggest achievement of 2025. 8 hours of sleep.
Make sure to put
Yes.
it on your calendar.
Block that time. This was such a great chat. I hope this was like interesting and
Yeah, it was
I don't know,
so
helpful or
it was so interesting. Well, also, like, yeah, I'm completely freaked out by meeting my soul twin. I've never met another person in the entire universe who is more like me than you. Meeting you on the internet. It's like, yeah, I am going to meet you in person. We are going to become IRL
Yes,
friends. It's
yes.
happening. So
You should come visit Hong Kong. You've been before, right?
yeah, I
What?
have not been, but my husband has, and
Oh
he
my
loves it.
gosh.
Yeah, I know. I've been hanging out so close for so long, but I have never been.
Wow. It's not that far.
I know. Yeah. Well, thank you again so much for doing this. It was absolutely amazing chatting to you and getting to know you
Yeah.
and learning that you're my
Yes,
soul twin.
it's the best. It's the best meet.
Keep me posted on your sleep
Will
adventures.
do. You know, you'll hear from me first if I get 8 hours.
I believe in you.
I believe in you. Yeah, one can hope. One can hope. Well, it was great chatting with you, Jen.
Good luck. Great chatting with you. Thank you again so much for doing this.
Anytime. Chat soon. Bye.
I'm Jen Tracy, and you've been watching The To-Do Show. If you're curious about how other people tackle their days, and honestly, who isn't, there's another conversation right here that'll probably surprise you. Go check it out. And here's something interesting. There's actually research showing that people fall into 8 distinct patterns when it comes to how they organize their lives. Productivity and psychology experts like Adam Grant and Gretchen Rubin have been studying this for years. We built a quiz based on that research, and people keep telling us it's weirdly accurate. It takes about 5 minutes, and you'll understand why certain systems work for you and why others never stick. Head to thetodoshow.com or check the link in the description to take the quiz. And please, please, please hit subscribe, and you can check that off your to-do list.